It wasn't that much of a surprise when Sony backed out of E3 2019, but now word is they also won't be at E3 2020, the very same year the PS5 is set to arrive. So what does this mean for the biggest show in video games? Well, it's not great, but it's also not very surprising either. E3's shift has been in the works for a number of years, and it's not just a big player like Sony dropping out that has started to tip the scales. Nintendo was the first company to really pull back its presence at the show, eliminating its press conference a few years ago. More recently, Sony and Microsoft all but left the show floor, leaving literal gaps in their wake. The last couple of years have been rough for E3. 2019 was the first year I skipped in a long time because I didn't think it was really worth going, and turns out I was right. My friends and colleagues who went said it was noticeably empty, and not having Sony or Microsoft on the show floor definitely seemed worrisome. Someone told me it was a straight up waste of time. But now, in a year where new consoles are set to arrive, Sony's absence spells trouble for the ESA. That's the Entertainment Software Association, the organization that puts on E3 every year in Los Angeles. In a statement from Sony, the company said, "We have great respect for the ESA as an organization, but we do not feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what we are focused on this year." The ESA can't be happy with Sony's decision to bail, and even released an "everything's going to be okay" statement of their own. They said E3 2020 will be an exciting, high-energy show featuring new experiences, partners, exhibitor spaces, activations, and programming that will entertain new and veteran attendees alike. And you'll notice, of course, there is no mention of Sony in that quote. It's tough to argue with Sony's strategy here, choosing to control the messaging instead of getting lost in the rest of that E3 circus is a smart move. It's a move becoming more and more popular with brands across many categories. It's been happening to CES in Vegas for many years. But at the end of the day, this doesn't really affect you, the consumer. Sure, E3 loses some of its star power, but do you really care? I mean, you're still going to find out PS5 news the second Sony wants you to. You'll just need to tune into their PS5 event whenever that will be. That's all that will change. And quite honestly, it's kind of amazing these big trade shows still happen in the way they do, considering the internet has made it so that companies can have full autonomy with their messaging. Hell, Microsoft head of Xbox Phil Spencer was quick to point out that they're currently working on their E3 presence, saying, quote, "Our art form has consistently been propelled by the cross-section of creativity and technical progress. 2020 is a milestone year in that journey for Team Xbox." I'm not sure E3 is just going to disappear overnight, but the change has been happening for a while now. For it to lose this much momentum in a console release year is wild, but a handful of mainstay publishers and developers will still be on the floor showing off their latest. I think E3 will continue to evolve in a direction that services the game industry's fans and community, because that's something you could argue is better experienced in person. After all, the ESA wants people to actually come to their show. So what do you think? Is this really the beginning of the end for E3, or will it just continue to evolve into something else that it isn't right now? Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks so much for watching.